Hey guys, Rath here with the DFS Minute for the PM edition, about 6:15 Eastern Time on April 21st, Tuesday night. Giving this to you about 45 minutes before first pitch, so plenty of time to have this on, get some pen and paper, write some stuff down, and give you some value plays, some pitching, and maybe some must guys to have. But real quick, the big announcement that just came down through the Sports Business Journal, Yahoo made an announcement on their earnings report today that they are jumping into the DFS industry. This is huge news for the industry. We've been waiting for one of the big boys to jump in. We know that ESPN's made the deal with DraftKings. Haven't heard anything from CBS, although they have done some stuff with FanDuel in the past, and they are putting out some content that seems to be more FanDuel driven. But now we have Yahoo jumping in, outright saying to their shareholders, we're jumping in. Huge news for the industry, and can't wait to hear and see what they've got in store. Hopefully it's some good stuff. And I know some of the guys over there are at Yahoo, so I'm definitely going to be reaching out to those guys and seeing if I can get any additional information. On to the pitching for tonight, talking about heads-ups, 50-50s. I think there's some good options for you tonight across the industry. The guy that I'm on, number one, is Colin McHugh. I think you can also play him in tournaments, but for the most part, he's a lock in cash, or what we call heads-ups, 50-50s. Love Colin McHugh. He's got the strikeouts, even though he's on the road. I love the spot in Seattle here, and I think Houston's going to be able to, touch up Taiwan and get McHugh with an early lead. So, because really Taiwan has really struggled early on this year. So, number one guy on the board for me is McHugh. Love Liriano in this spot as well. Liriano's a guy I think you can go in your heads-up 50-50s in your tournaments. There's some great upside there. Also, the great floor. Him at home has been really, really strong. One of the best home pitchers in baseball over the last 2 or 3 years. Some guys who I think have some upside but some risk. Chris Archer. He is going against the Red Sox, but he's got upside. He's got that double-digit K potential pitching at home. So the runs might be down a little bit tonight. It is the Red Sox, so they can always blow up against anybody. But they do struggle a little bit against right-handed pitchers, and Archer's a power arm, and he's really starting to find his groove. And I think he's a potential ace. I think maybe in the next year or two, we're going to see him make the ascension into that ace type level status. Lance Lynn and John Neese, two guys I think you can roll out in your 50-50s and heads-ups, safe floors tonight. That's really what I'm looking at with these guys. Absolutely safe floors. What I mean by that is they're not going to get blown up. They can go out there to get you 6 or 7, give up 1 or 2 earned runs, and get you the strikeouts that you need. Lance Lynn and John Neese are both guys I think you can roll out there, and you can roll them out as a second pitcher. If you want to go risk, and you want to go maybe a guy like Carlos Carrasco tonight, who a lot of people are not going to be on because he could be on limited pitch count and the wind's blowing out 15, 20 miles an hour. So a lot of guys are jumping off Carrasco because there's a lot of risk. So if you wanted to take some risk on and go with Carrasco, you probably want to pair him up with a safe play like a John Neese or a Lance Lynn. As far as bats go, talked about it yesterday, and I'm not the only one on this guy. The whole entire world is on him, but Derek Norris hitting at the top of the lineup in Coors Field, going into lefty. I'm not going all in on this Coors game tonight. I'm going to stay a little bit away. Matzek's numbers have been good the last 10 starts. Take a look at this guy's numbers. I always remember him as being a guy that got blown up, but his numbers have been really good, and I'm going to be looking to use Matzek when he's on the road in a good pitching environment against teams that don't have right-handed power. So, and I really got to give a shout-out to Tommy G and Crazy Gaby. I hit him up on Twitter. They talked about Matzek last week when he was in San Fran, and he pitched a good game. I'll tell you what, I looked at the numbers, I looked at the game log, and I really had overlooked Tyler Matzek. I had really been looking at his splits because he was so bad against righties. But the numbers are legit, and I think he could be a very interesting tournament play or a second pitcher option moving forward. So we definitely want to keep our eyes on Tyler Matzek and the spots that he's at. Lucas Duda is my top guy, first base, going against Trevor Cahill, and Luda can absolutely mash against right-handers, and Trevor Cahill is a horrible pitcher, one of the worst pitchers in baseball right now. So love Duda in this spot. Lots of options at first base tonight. You can go a number of different ways. I could rattle off all the names that you want to go out there, but you got to know who they are. I like Duda because I think he is the most affordable with the best upside. It allows me to get some other guys in. I am paying a little bit up for pitching tonight, so I need to find – and there's not a ton of value out there across the board that I can find. Middle infield, second base, shortstop. Top guy would be D. Gordon if you can fit him in. But I love Logan Forsythe, and they moved him up to third. Now, I've always been playing low Forsythe. Whenever I find him against the lefty, he's usually hitting 6, and I always play him because he's so cheap. But now he's hitting third. He's in a primo lineup spot hitting in front of Longoria. So I like Forsythe tonight to give you some value, give you some savings. And then Brian Dozier hitting 4th in the middle of the lineup. I think you have some upside there. Dozier can steal your base. He also has some pop. And that's what you need, especially when you're playing in tournaments. You need upside, and Dozier's the kind of guy that can give it to you. So I love Dozier at shortstop, or if you're playing on a site with multiple position eligibility, you can play him at that middle infield slot. Third base, I don't see a lot out there tonight, and so I'm going to pick my spot here with Will Middlebrooks. Took him last night, did okay for me. He's really cheap. He's in a good spot. Just talked up Matzik, but again, I'm getting right-handed power and cores against a lefty, cheap. So I got to go ahead and save money somewhere. This is where I'm going to save it, and I have that power potential of him going off and hitting a home run. Outfield, there's always a ton of options in outfield, so we always want to go to value first. There's not a lot of value out there that I can see. There's still a few lineups ready to come out, but I have to get the video out. I want to get it to you guys early. You know, Brandon Guyer, I usually play him when he's hitting leadoff against a weak lefty, and he is in that spot tonight. You get some salary relief, so I'm going to roll with Brandon Guyer as a value play. Will Myers hitting leadoff, another value play. Again, right-handed bat. He's hitting at the top of the lineup, so even if, and he's a good on-base guy. So if Myers can draw walks and get on, maybe Kemp, Upton, and Middlebrooks hitting behind him can move him along and get him in. So Myers is a guy I think gives you some really nice upside. And the big bopper I'm going with tonight in the outfield is Adam Jones. Love the spot. You always want to take right-handed power hitters against left-handed pitchers in the Rogers Center in Toronto because it's an extreme hitter's park towards right-handed guys, and it's a fly ball. So love Adam Jones in this spot. The other guy I'm rolling with and paying up, if I don't get Duda, I'm probably paying up for Joey Votto tonight. He's on fire. He can give you that double dong potential that we talked about yesterday, and that's where I'm going. I want to wish you guys the best of luck tonight. Hit the $500,000 tournament on DraftKings. Check out all the qualifiers. You got Fantasy Aces qualifiers going tonight for their Friday tournament. Jump in at 5, 11, or 22. A lot of those things are sold out, but they are reposting if the contest gets sold out. So they are putting some contests up. So I want to give everybody a shout out again. Thanks again for everybody tuning in for Benny and Josh today. Awesome show. Those guys knocked it out of the park. The best show that they've done so far. And if you're watching that, if you're not watching that show, hit it up on demand. It's already up on YouTube. It's up on RotoCurve. You just play it in the background. It's not just about getting information for today's games. You're going to have 15 to 20 minutes of content that's straight takeaways for strategy that you can use in daily fantasy baseball moving forward every single day. Those guys are giving you stuff that no one else is giving you, and today they really did a phenomenal job, I think, in one of the best shows I've seen or listened to in DFS since I've been doing it for the last 5 years. This is Rath signing off, and as I always say here at RotoCurve, stay classy, DFS.